Hello everyone, this is Zach and welcome to Beefart, my new channel where I take a historical figure and draw them in the style of a beloved franchise. Today's episode, I'll be drawing Jeffrey Dahmer in the style of Jojo's Bizarre Adventure. Now if you've never seen Jojo's Bizarre Adventure, all I can say is it is whack. I've never seen anything like the show, and I don't think I ever will see anything like the show in the future. It's got a weird nostalgic feeling to me where it feels like it's an old Fox Kids cartoon, but also it's anime. So it is weird, like double weird. And the only way you can find out is to watch it yourself. I decided to draw Jeffrey Dahmer in the style of Jojo's Bizarre Adventure because he's got one of those faces that seems like it would fit well with the style. So let's get after it. Jeffrey Lionel Dahmer was born May 21st, 1960 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He's a serial killer responsible for 17 known murders, many involving necrophilia and cannibalism. As a child, Dahmer was heavily neglected by his parents. His mother was a hypochondriac who suffered from depression and addiction. From an early age, Dahmer was fascinated by dead animals. He collected insects and later began collecting animals. He would dismember them and store their parts in the family tool shed. In one instance, Dahmer decapitated a dead dog, impaled the head onto a cross, and nailed the body to a tree behind his house. Gross. That's nasty. Jeff, not a good start. The Dahmer family moved to Ohio, where Jeffrey finished grade school. During his time in grade school, he discovered that he was gay, and he became an alcoholic. Unrelated. Often drinking at school. During his senior year of high school, Jeffrey's parents divorced and went to live with relatives, leaving Jeffrey in the family home by himself. Which, probably not the best parenting move. If you are a parent, don't do that, because they might turn out like Jeffrey Dahmer. 3 weeks after graduation, Jeffrey picked up a hitchhiker named Stephen Hicks, who was 19. On the promise of free drinks, they went back to Dahmer's home. When Hicks said that he wanted to leave, Dahmer struck him with a 10-pound dumbbell and strangled him to death. Dahmer then removed Hicks' clothes and masturbated over his body. Which, in my vocabulary, that's a big yikes. Dahmer dissected Hicks' body in the basement and used acid and a sledgehammer to dispose of Hicks' body. 3 weeks later, Dahmer attended OSU, where he flunked out due to his persistent alcohol abuse. His father persuaded him to enlist in the U.S. Army, where he served as a medic, but was honorably discharged due to his alcohol abuse. Dahmer was also accused of rape by 2 soldiers. Dahmer spent the remainder of his life mostly unemployed, living with his father in Ohio and then grandmother in Wisconsin. Dahmer met Stephen Tuomi at a bar and persuaded him to get a hotel room with him. Dahmer claimed to have no intention of killing Tuomi. However, when he awoke the next morning, he found Tuomi's chest caved in by his doing. He claimed to have no recollection of doing this, but he found blood all over his hands, and his knuckles were bruised pretty severely, so you do the math. Dahmer transported Stephen Tuomi's body to his grandmother's house in a suitcase where he dismembered him. Dahmer kept Tuomi's skull as a stimulus for masturbation. Ew. Following the murder of Stephen Tuomi, Dahmer began actively seeking victims. He would lure them into his grandmother's house, drug them, and then strangle them. Dahmer went on to murder 2 more victims before permanently moving out of his grandma's house. Their names were Richard Guerrero and Anthony Spears. He found Anthony Spears really hot, and he actually kept his penis. So, cool fact. Midway through 1990, Dahmer moved into his own apartment, where he killed 11 more people over the course of 1990 and 1991. Now that he had the privacy of living on his own, he began keeping souvenirs of his killings, including photographs and body parts. He would also begin storing body parts in his freezer for later consumption. You heard that right. cannibalism. What a sicko. Just a real grade A knucklehead. Dahmer also experimented with live subjects, trying to create a living slave in a permanently submissive state. On one of these occasions, a 14-year-old victim escaped and sought help. Although when the police arrived, Dahmer simply told them he was drunk and that they were lovers. The police gave him back to Dahmer and he was killed that night. Not great police work, you guys. Do better. On July 22, 1991, Dahmer lured 32-year-old Tracy Edwards to his apartment with the offer of money in exchange for nude photographs and companionship. This was Dahmer's most common ruse with his victims. He would offer them money, and all he wanted in return was basically nude photos and for them to sleep with him. Didn't turn out that way usually, so just don't trust strangers. Edwards immediately sensed the danger he was in and pretended to be Jeffrey's friend. He escaped at first opportunity and flagged down police. Dahmer was arrested, and inside the apartment they found 4 severed heads, 7 skulls, a blood collection, 2 hearts, an entire torso, a bag of organs, 2 entire skeletons, a pair of severed hands, 2 preserved penises, a mummified scalp, 3 torsos dissolving in a 57-gallon drum, and a total of 74 Polaroid photos of his crimes. Dahmer stated that he was planning to use the skulls to create an altar for himself as a place of meditation. Dahmer had stated to his mother that he had long since been ready to die, and on November 28, 1994, he got his wish. He was beaten to death by 3 inmates and discovered on the bathroom floor with, quote, extreme head wounds. So there you have it. Here is Jeffrey Dahmer in the style of Jojo's Bizarre Adventure. I hope you enjoyed watching this, and if so, please consider giving this a like and a share, and subscribe for more. Remember to pay attention to your kids, and please don't kill anyone.